This is DDS. We are your hosts, Blake Melton, Bradley Newberry, and the man, I'm still going to say it, Matthew Two-Tone Blue Parker. Parker, what's going on?
Just still being sad, but I might actually watch this weekend's game, so I'm ready for this.
There you go.
Welcome, everybody. We'll do a little reaction on the other three playoff games. We'll talk about the championship games and maybe a little look around at this coaching activity going on here, or maybe lack thereof from one team in Florida. But let's go back to Saturday night. This was a cold night, cold evening in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and another number one seed gets booted on the exact same day, 13-10 to the 49ers.
For all this talk that I hear Tannehill shouldn't be playing, where's the talk that Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady shouldn't be playing? Because, he sucked in this game too.
Yeah, would anybody have guessed, regardless of the weather, that this game was going to be a 13-10 result?
Especially when they scored on the opening possession.
Never would have thought it. An Aaron Rodgers team that went that long without scoring a touchdown.
When he walked off the field, was that the last time that he walks off that field as a Green Bay Packer?
I think it's a fair question. Sure is a lot of speculation going on around here. I don't know. I think there's a lot of fair points to be made about, is it good for the Packers organization to dump him? I mean, I don't know that that's a real thing or not. Honestly, I think everybody's got to kind of let the wound settle a little bit.
Yeah, it's a tough one to know. I think really what happens to Devontae is how to answer that question.
Yeah, if they let Devontae go, I think Aaron Rodgers that makes his decision easy.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is more on Devontae than it is on Aaron Rodgers. We'll see. I'm sure he'll make some drama on the Pat McAfee show tomorrow. But
oh God,
I know.
Why can't he come up on here?
Yeah, I love my favorite thing. If y'all saw his interview with ESPN for 28 minutes, and in the middle of the interview, he said he was in the middle of a 28-minute interview talking about how he's being silenced. But I think he's back in Green Bay. If I'm putting money on it, I think he's back in Green Bay. I think he just loves the drama. I really do. I would bet retiring or Green Bay before I would anything.
I think that's probably a fair assessment, quite frankly. I just feel like he's still got something in him, though, as far as he has the ability to, but at this point in his career, is it just too much of a move for him to just, pack it up and move to Nashville, say, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, my only other thought about this game was, other than Rodgers' angle and then blowing a number one seed opportunity, was the defensive play from Armstead and Bosa combined for 4 sacks and a forced fumble. Getting after it.
The San Francisco defensive line is playing out of their minds. And they do a lot of rotations. Their backup guys that come in and play like 10, 12, 15 plays are getting to the quarterback. This team, we mentioned in the preview podcast, I remember specifically saying, quote, I wouldn't be surprised if this team wins the Super Bowl, even though didn't pick them to do it. If they are hot, they can beat anybody because Bosa, man, that defensive line is good.
Yeah, as Titans fans, we know about having a good defensive line, but you still got to be able to do something on offense, and it's one of those, if I'm sitting here looking at it, what's the difference in this game and the Titans game? Is it just that San Francisco just did just enough to be able to get over the hump?
Well, it's Kyle Shanahan, right? Yeah, I think. I mean, he's one of the best coaches in the league, I think, offensively anyways. And that's despite Jimmy G. Everybody rails on Jimmy G. Do you know, saying he does nothing, you know how many times Jimmy G in his life has not thrown a touchdown pass as a starter for San Francisco? 11 times. In those games, he is 9-2 and 3-0 in the playoffs. He doesn't have to do anything. Their run game is so strong, and their defensive line is so good. The Titans really, and last week should have modeled after what they did. They shouldn't have asked Tannehill to do anything because of how bad he was playing.
Mm-hmm.
And they just let the defense and running backs handle it like San Francisco does.
It just feels weird to me that it feels like San Francisco's just using him, though they've already made up their mind. It seems that he will not be back. It will be Trey Lance. But why not just use him for the Super Bowl ring? Just go ahead and use him then.
Trey Lance?
Why
They're
would you
using
do
Jimmy
why?
G. They're just using Jimmy G.
So what? It's a
They've
business.
already made up their mind that they're not bringing him back.
Well, they're not trying. They're not trying to make friends here. They're trying to get a ring.
Yeah, you were all for them playing the stash down in Jacksonville to leverage trade advantage. Like, think how if he goes and wins a Super Bowl, you're right. They're moving on from him. Trey Lance, it's his team. It's Trey Lance's team. Think of the trade value all of a sudden Jimmy G has.
Oh God.
I mean, what are you getting?
Is there a team in Nashville that turns their eyes to this then?
No.
Because I don't know of any team that would be trading for that.
No.
Who's it going to be? Philly?
Cleveland?
The Giants?
Seattle.
Some off-season.
Could be anything. Jacksonville, maybe?
No, definitely not that.
Ooh, Jimmy liked it when he was down there.
He's got a top 10 quarterback that we'll talk about in the offseason.
I'm looking forward to that one.
But no. Then we fast forward to Sunday, the first game, staying in the NFC. Gosh, it comes down to another field goal, and it starts with the Brady comeback. I mean, Parker and I were on the Rams. Blake says, what you said last week was that we made it too easy for you. We already know the story.
Yep.
And I'll be danged if he didn't do it, Blake. Here comes Brady with the comeback again.
Yeah, man. It's like I said, I've seen this story too many times, but we all know how it ended up.
Cooper Kupp fumbling, Akers fumbling. It's all this a bad snap. It's a bunch of BS, it seems like.
Well, that's the thing is that everything it's kind of the way, the whole Tiger Woods things, legend got built. Every little thing always seemed to have always go his way. But at some point, we knew it had to kind of come to an end at some point.
And he wasn't good for the first 3 quarters.
No.
It just wasn't. And you're right that the Rams just matched up better with this team. I in fact, didn't even realize. Because I was just so disheartened by the Titans game. It was hard for me to even watch some of these games. And once it got up to a blowout, I turned it off. And I was like, yeah, it's over. I'm done with football for the day. And your brother texted me, and I turned it back on. But he did about do it. And I do think we see him again next year.
Do we see him in Tampa Bay?
I believe we do. I think we do. I think he stays true to his word of 5 years ago. If y'all remember, he came out and said he wanted to play until he was 45. I think that holds true. I think we see him again.
Tries to make one more run, and then.
And why not? He's been great. Yeah, he's been great. He's going to probably be MVP. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
That's incredible.
It's absolutely unbelievable.
And then we got the final game of the weekend was the one everyone's talking about this week, of course. Kansas City, Buffalo, they put on a show. Now we've got all this controversy about, do we change the overtime rules, blah, 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 blah. I mean, Josh Allen couldn't have looked any better. This was just a simple fact of whoever had the ball last seemed like they were going to win.
13 seconds is too much time for Patrick Mahomes. Or Josh Allen.
Dude.
Or Josh Allen in that game.
Well, and why do you not squib kick it?
I mean, because I guess you think how's he going to drive it 40 yards downfield for the it's easy to second guess it.
It is.
Either way.
Armchair quarterbacking is easy, but it was a very entertaining game. You got to admit. I mean, that if you're an offensive person, I mean, that was about as, Madden-ish as it gets. Just freaking bombs being dropped everywhere. Dimes being dropped by the quarterbacks. I mean, all of a sudden in the second half, there was just no defense whatsoever being played.
I said on our podcast that this was my favorite bet of the week was the over, and I felt really stupid for about, 55 minutes.
That's right. It was way over 3 quarters worth. Oh,
those last 2 minutes. I really do think it was like the last minute and 55 seconds. They scored.
Yeah.
I think it was 25 points a minute 55.
What did they say? Yeah, they said there was 4 lead changes or something in the final 2 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it ended up going way over. It was a great game. Y'all know if you total up the victories of these 4 games, it is the smallest amount of victories on the divisional round in the history of the NFL playoffs.
Tight. We like the tight football games, but I will say a little shout out to a Buffalo wide receiver, and it was not Stephon Diggs on this night. It was Mr. Gabriel Davis setting some NFL records out
Golly.
there.
Dude, 4 touchdowns. All I know is what was the bet on Gabriel Davis for 3 or more touchdowns?
Somebody got rich.
I don't know, but I did cash in on over 32 yards receiving. I got that. He had that big time.
You would have gone. I was listening to the guy that sets the line for FanDuel talk about how they made so much money on this game on the same game parlays because everybody had part of the leg was having Stephon Diggs on the over receptions and Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes. All of them hit except
Diggs. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Entertaining game for sure.
Yeah. So now we've got our matchups here. We've got Cincinnati going to Kansas City. In a matchup that I feel like is just what is this? Is this Kansas City's 4th straight AFC title game? I think all 4 have been home games now. It just feels like it's their turn to just go ahead and win one right here.
Well, I mean, they did win one a couple of years ago, but this is their 4th straight. I remember in the preview pod, I said that they wouldn't win this game because there's no way they wouldn't get to the AFC Championship because they know what they're going to do it 4 years in a row because that's next to impossible. But yeah, and this Cincinnati team, they're just running so. They should have lost to the Raiders. Horrible play. Horrible. The refs gave that game to them. They should have lost to the Titans. Downing and Tannehill gave that game. I absolutely believe, and I mentioned this in our other ones. I'll just go ahead and say it. I think they're going to get boat raced in this game. I know KC lost to Cincinnati just a couple of weeks ago. I don't think that paints the true picture of these 2 teams.
Man, I don't know. Definitely is not a good matchup for the Bengals. Looking at this, the 27th ranked passing defense for the Bengals. Eesh. That's kind of a rough number going against the 4th best passing offense in the NFL. So I'm with Parker. I think this isn't really even going to be particularly close.
And it's funny you say that because the Bengals have the 3rd highest paid defensive backs in the entire league. They have the 3rd highest paid defensive line also. In that game, Kansas City in the first few plays lost their left tackle, they lost their right tackle, and they lost their safety. All within like the first dozen plays. Yes, all of them were gone quick. So they had on the fly to change all these things up. And they didn't know going into it. And they know these things going into it now. I just think it was really bad luck for them. If you could have got this game at 6.5, sign it up. Because, I mean, I think this game – I don't think this Bengals team is good. I think this is – we're talking I'm talking like 38-21. I don't think it's very close.
Can you imagine a Super Bowl with the Bengals and the freaking 49ers?
We've seen that before.
Would anybody watch that?
1990, 91.
Good grief. Well, I don't think anybody'd watch that.
We've seen it.
I don't think anybody –
I
think anybody I'm fine with any matchup that doesn't involve the Bengals. I just don't think they're very good.
Well, Blake's been on Burrow all year.
And I love Burrow. I think he's going to be great. But Burrow has not been good in the playoffs. Burrow has not gotten them where they are right now.
Right. Well, I mean, particularly against the Titans, he spent more of his time on his back than he did upright. Kind of like his mama. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Just kidding.
Well, I'll go ahead and say, let me see. I'm going to go Kansas City 30, and Cincinnati something random like 16 with like 4 field goals from McPherson. 30-16, Kansas City.
I don't think you're far off there. I'm going to go 35-14.
Since there was a time in that game a couple of weeks ago where Kansas City scored touchdowns on 4 straight possessions in the first half. They're going to be able to do what they want to this. Again, I'm going to go 38-21 because I think the Bengals will be able to score here. But if Kansas City wants to hang a 50 burger, they can do it.
The NFC Championship game. This is a rematch of what the infamous Week 18 game. They're in SoFi. We got the 49ers on the road again against the Rams. Jimmy G, can he manage it again one more time? Just run the rock. Don't turn it over. What everyone wanted from Tannehill.
Man,
Will we see Ramsey happy at the end of this game? Will we see Ramsey pouting and blaming other people?
I don't know, man. I'm sitting here looking at it, and it's just, I think that the Rams had a good plan coming into this year. They went and got the quarterback that they wanted to try to do exactly what they're doing this year, which is get to a Super Bowl and try to compete for a Super Bowl championship. And I just think that I know San Francisco's defense and blah, blah, blah. I get it. But at some point, they have to run out of steam, right? And that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen in this game.
So outside of Brady and Mahomes, the best quarterback of the weekend was Stafford. Not Brady, I'm sorry. Mahomes and Allen, Stafford. But this game is so intriguing to me matchup-wise. I could go on about this for a while, but McVay against Shanahan, this is a major narrative everybody's going to be hearing. If McVay loses this game, that is 7 in a row he would have lost to Shanahan. The 6 in a row 49ers have beat them. And I'm tired of hearing this stuff about it's hard to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. No, it's not. Traditionally, the team that wins 2 times wins the third game 75% of the time. The 49ers have this Rams team's number, and the Rams are built differently. They're like this modern defense. They're built to stop the pass, and that's not what the 49ers do. They're built on the run. Since in that streak where the 49ers have beat the Rams, Jimmy G throws on average in all of those games only about 16 times a game. And if they continue with that formula, they don't make Jimmy G pass it. If they're going to be able to run it because Jeff Wilson's going to be healthy in this game, the 49ers, honestly, might be the team to take in this game, and they're the underdog. The wrong team might be favored in this game.
Yeah. I can see it. I can see it. My mind goes towards defense. The Rams can play defense, too. We got Aaron Donald there. I always talk about Ramsey. But Blake thinks this is a big-time bounce back spot for the Rams. Do you think it's going to be just roll over them? The 49ers are out of steam here, you think?
I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. I think this is going to be a really close game. I think it's probably going to come down to another 2-minute drive. The question is which one of these quarterbacks do you trust more with a 2-minute drive? And just for my personal preference, I'd go with Matthew Stafford. I don't trust Jimmy G in any pressure situation. Now, they do have Deebo Samuel over there, which God knows, they may just line him up in Wildcat and let him run it down the field for 2 minutes. But right now, Vegas has got it sitting at 3.5 for the Rams. It's definitely looking to be a close one. And I'm going to go ahead and call it as a 24-21 victory for the Rams.
Parker, I think this game is going to be San Fran's going to be up by 3 with about 4 minutes to go. And I think the turnovers bug's going to hit Matthew Stafford. And the 49ers will win by 10 and go to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
It absolutely could happen because Matthew Stafford, when he's playing against the blitz, is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. This year he has 15 touchdowns to 1 interception against the blitz. But do you know what the 49ers don't do? They don't blitz. They blitz 19. They blitz 19% of the time, which is by far the least amount in the league. Stafford against teams that don't blitz this year, 15 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. It's just when he has a clean pocket, Stafford. It doesn't make sense, and I love Stafford. We all know that. But when he has a clean pocket, Stafford is far worse than when he has somebody breathing down his back trying to sack him from a blitz. So it absolutely that could happen, and in fact that would probably be the smart play because they have owned them as of late. And my favorite bet, by the way, in this one, like last week, my favorite was the over in the Bills. Mine is whatever Ayuk's receiving yards, take the over. Because I think they're going to put Ramsey on Debo. They're going to roll Debo around, and they're going to have Ayuk in the middle all day long. I'm talking 100-yard reception type game.
So there's another one that I like. I'm going to keep it local here in Murfreesboro. Jawan Jennings over.
Yeah,
Receptions
JJ.
and receiving yards.
I like the local tie.
Yep, I'm with you on that.
Like we should have to make a best bet moving forward on podcasts that involve local people.
Yeah.
So we got 1 Rams and 2 49ers is what we're going with?
Oh, no, I didn't say that. I just said I could see it.
Oof.
Not bad.
But I do think this is the time. It's going to be the game's it's in LA. It's at SoFi. We went over 50 years without seeing a home team play in the Super Bowl, and we're going to see it twice this year.
Ooh.
Because I believe McVay is finally going to get a hold of this one. I have no rhyme or reason other than I picked the Rams preseason, and I want to see this happen again. All the stats say you should be picking the 49ers. I think it's low scoring. I'm talking 20-17 Rams.
Woof.
Oof.
Okay.
And the last thing that I was going to touch on before we wrap this up was about the coaching stuff going on. Some coaching hires. We got Nathaniel Hackett going to be wearing his Aaron Rodgers jersey at the press conference there in Denver, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's a reason for that hire. That hire seems kind of weak to me, to be honest with you, because I think LaFleur is the guy that really is the guy that pulling the strings there. Don't you all feel that way? I don't know.
Yeah. And also, if they have a mask mandate in Colorado, it's not really a thing.
That's true. My favorite, I'll tell you my favorite, not hire yet, but God, y'all, I love the Houston Texans. Because y'all know who the leader in the clubhouse is right now for their head coaching job?
Bill O'Brien's coming back.
No, it's
Just
not.
kidding.
It's worse. It's worse than Bill O'Brien.
Is it McCown?
It is McCown. Do y'all know Josh McCown's coaching resume? Does anyone just want to take a shot at the highest level he's coached?
The Cleveland Beer League? I don't know.
He is a assistant head coach in Texas high school. It's absolutely unbelievable. You go the other way, and you talk about some other bad hires, man. I think Eberflus from Colts is just a terrible hire. Good luck with that, Chicago. Let's get rid of, that hire to me, Chicago bringing him in. Does that not tell you? To me, it means that Justin Fields may not be their guy.
I was going to say, that tells me they're starting over.
Yes, right. Don't you bring in a new quarterback? You bring in an offensive mind for something like that.
Yeah. And I got a question.
I don't know.
Has there been a Byron Leftwich sighting in Jacksonville yet?
The answer is yes. Byron Leftwich has been in Jacksonville. Byron Leftwich straight up told them, I'm not signing any papers until Trent Baalke is out.
Okay, hats off to him for standing up for what he believes.
And Bradley, am I not right? They're eyeing him pretty hard in New Orleans.
I think the answer is yes. So they've
I mean, Dennis Allen's
will
going
be
to be the
there.
guy, right? But
He'll be there for an interview, but I think it's one of those that's trying to force the hand here.
Yeah,
Let me
it's
go
it's
have
a
this
it's a
other
leverage
interview to try
play.
to get I think they've already got a little handshake deal that he is the coach. They're just trying to figure out the power structure in Duval, and everybody wants Balky out. I agree with it. Just go ahead and flush the garbage.
Well,
Put it
so
all
what?
out
Yeah.
there.
So what is that? Does that mean that? Is there some kind of little conspiracy going on here that the ownership said, hey, you need to go out there and tell them that you want him gone, and because you are the person we want, you are the person this community wants, and that gives us cause to fire him.
just fire him. Urban's calls.
Dude, they don't have the balls to just fire anybody. They've shown that.
Well, you've heard who they want, or I guess who Byron Leftwich and the majority of the public, they want former safety from the Arizona Cardinals, Adrian Wilson, to be the GM in Jacksonville.
Sounds like anything would be an improvement.
I mean, yeah, literally anything would be an improvement. Like we mentioned last week, put me in a room with one of these owners that are worth billions of dollars. I could convince them to give me a GM job. It just, I'll tell you the one hire that I do think it's going to be a smash. I think Josh McDaniels. I know that hasn't been official yet, but it sounds like it's going to be. Going to the Raiders is the best hire of the offseason. I'll go ahead and call it over anything else that happens.
What's the over-under of how many press conferences he has before he changes his mind and quits?
I don't think he will. He can't do that again. That happens again.
He's done if it happens again, right?
It happens again, and you're done. This is why it's taking him so long probably to get another job, right?
Yeah.
I'd be scared. I mean, if all else fails for the Raiders, Urban Meyer's available.
Who cares, man?
If the Texans hire him,
that guy just needs to go take a long walk off the edge of the Grand Canyon.
Jeez.
Because he's a piece of shit. I said it. Urban Meyer's a piece of shit.
It'll give us plenty to look at, and the long weeks without football are rapidly approaching here. But we have some championship games to look forward to.
We do. 3 major games left. I think one of them's going to be really good. And one of them will be just fun to watch because I think Patrick Mahomes is going to throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns if he wanted to. And the Super Bowl should be, as long as Cincy's not in it, it's going to be a good matchup either way.
Oh, the state of Ohio loves you right now. Well, but anyways.
Still slightly sour on that.
Yeah, I know it. We can't help it. What else you got there, Newberry?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, guys, that is a conference championship show. Guys, thanks for joining us for this Our Conference Championship preview show. We encourage you to go to Twitter at DDS Sports Talk. Yeah, let's see. I still got the COVID tongue. At DDS Sports Talk. Leave us a comment there. Let us know what you think the results are going to be. Boys, closing thoughts.
I want to see Ramsey cry.
One more time, he said.
Hey, bet Ayuk over on the receiving props. I'm telling you. It's like betting tight end over when they play the Titans. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, hey, guys, hit like down below, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I still got to figure out there's got to be some sort of technicality where there can be 3 forfeits and that will fall to the highest seed in the AFC, being the Tennessee Titans, because it will be two-tone blue all the way. You guys be well.